controlling your behaviour, I can make you do certain things that maybe aren't right. Who would not want me to do that? Who wouldn't want me to put a chip in your brain to control you? It's not nice, is it? Put your hands down. Because as human beings, all of us, we have to be able to have our own thoughts. We need to be able to think our own thoughts about different subjects. Okay? But a lot of people have this chip in their head every day. Do you believe me? They don't have a real chip, but what they do is they sit down at the living room table, or they sit down on the couch, and they read newspapers. Now that may not seem like that means you've got a chip in your head that controls the way you think, but a lot of newspapers tell you things, and a lot of people believe everything they say, don't they? Because they see it's written down, words in front of them on the page, and so a lot of people will read a story and they'll say, right, yeah, that's right, I agree, that's right. Yeah. Without actually really thinking for themselves. So it's like they've got this little chip in their brain that controls the way they think when they're reading newspapers. Okay, what should you do if that's the case? What would you do with a little chip in your brain that controls the way you thought? No? Not quite? What would you do? What's the first thing you do? Pull it out, get rid of it. Yeah, because every single person in this room is an individual. And every single person in this
if someone was being nasty to a person on your side that was black, what would you do about it?
Well, there's not during a football match. There's not an awful lot you can do in terms of reporting it. You can if you hear it happening in the first half, you can obviously you'll get the opportunity to challenge the opposition player. To remind him of his responsibilities and the respect he should show, and then you can only offer support to your own teammate during the game. Then the first chance you'll make the referee aware and officials aware of what's happening. I think Andy made a very good point that people make comments at football games and within football games, and they don't expect to be challenged by another member of the team or the crowd. I think it's a massive important area that if you hear somebody make a comment and you tell that person that is wrong or ask them why they're making that comment, then I think the message will soon get across. And I think within football somebody makes it, if one of his own teammates challenges us as to how bad that remark was, suddenly very quickly realises that he's doing the wrong thing, and it's born sometimes out of frustration or jealousy. The man on the end, Lee, will tell you he gets abused in different ways every time we play football because of his ability and because of his history and because, like myself, he's English. So, but they target him to try and affect his game. But if we try and protect him and we try and protect our teammates in every challenge that we come across during a game. But I think it's important if somebody says something in the game that you very quickly make them aware that that's out of order and there's no place for it in the current climate, and at the same time offering support and rallying around your own teammates.
Last question, Simon. Last one.
So my son's got Sam. He went as far as you Sam as well. There's a lot of Sams all of a sudden there. Oh, this is Sam. Hello, Sam. Sam's really good. Say your question.
Have any of you or friends or family ever been abused by invasive by other people?
Has any of your friends, family ever been racially abused? I'll tell you one story that happened when I was 17. I think Chris might have played in this game. We played down Swansea for Cardiff City in '97, I think, and it was when John Williams, a former player of Swansea, was playing, or we were warming up on the bench together, and we played at the Vetch. And the pitch to the crowd was very, very tight, to say the least, and the running track was very thin. And I remember John Williams, because when you're a former player of a club and you go back to that club, you're either loved like Lears at Swansea or you're hated like I was at Cardiff. And John Williams went back, and because he was playing for Cardiff, and Cardiff-Swansea is a very important game in Wales, and they were abusing him because he was black, and they were spitting at him, throwing coins at him. And these fans who were doing it were supporting him a couple of years earlier. Yeah, and he came back later, and they were supporting him. So it's amazing that these fans, when you play for them, you're loved. When you go back, sometimes you're not loved. And I remember looking on his face, and I was only 17, and I was a baby. It was my first derby, and I looked at his face, and it was almost like he was just drained from it. And I always remember looking at him thinking, do you know what? That is horrendous, because my mother's black, you know, and it wasn't targeted at me, it was targeted completely at someone else. But I didn't, and I couldn't help but feel for him, how lonely he must have been feeling, you know, to be spat at and to be thrown coins at, you know, is horrendous, to say the least. And that memory always stuck with me.
Are a different colour, you know, that's an easy thing for opposite fans to pick on. They'll call them names, where they'll call white people names as well. So as you say, racism is different in every way. And like Kevin said, you know, he played for a Welsh club and he was English. I was the same. I was playing for Swansea. Swansea fans are singing songs about the English, and then the English fans are then calling me names, saying I'm a Welsh this and that, when, you know, so I was getting it from both sides. So I couldn't win that day.
Obviously it depends. like Chris just mentioned, now there's things being put in place now, and it's probably long overdue, and how to deal with racism and what to do with things. Like, for example, Chris mentioned the supporters of football grounds are likely to face a ban from every football ground in the country. You know, if you enjoy your football, like a lot of people do, and live for the weekend to go, if you cannot play and you go to watch, that's a big sacrifice for being uneducated.